So, very good afternoon to everyone watching us live from across the globe and from nooks and corners of India as well. Happy Independence Day to everyone who are watching us. So, we are gathered here for the webinar on dynamics of healthcare industry, organized by Association of Pharmaceutical Research. So, before we start, I would like to introduce our speaker, a keynote speaker for the afternoon, Dr. Upendra Nagaich, sir. So, Dr. Nagaich received his B Pharm from Jivaji University, Gwalior, India, M.Pharm from Rajiv Gandhi University of Health Sciences, Bangalore, India, and a PhD from Jivaji University, Gwalior, India. Dr. Upendra Nagaich is working as research coordinator, Amity University of Pharmacy, Amity University, Noida, India. A key focus of Dr. Nagaich's research is the application of nanotechnology for drug delivery systems. Dr. Nagaich is currently applying these technologies to the enhancement of treatment option for diabetes mellitus, atopic dermatitis, and Parkinson's therapy. Dr. Nagaich has built 13 Indian patents, published more than 70 high-quality papers in international and uh, national journals of repute, invited as a uh, speaker in more than sorry, I'll just say published more than 70 high quality papers in international and national journals of repute, invited as speaker in various conferences, presented papers at various national and international conferences and seminars, and is and has edited a handbook uh, a handbook on research of advanced pharmaceutics to be published by CRC Press, a Taylor and Francis, United Kingdom. Dr. Nagaich guided 2 theses of PhD, 45 theses of MPharm, and presently guiding 8 theses of PhD and 5 theses of MPharm. His biography has been included in the renowned directory Who's Who in the World, US 2011, and published in the 29th edition, November 2011. Dr. Nagaich is a recipient of the 100 most impactful healthcare leaders global listing given by World Health Congress, Young Scientist Award given by Dule Charitable Society in recognition of outstanding research contribution in the field of pharmaceutical science, Award of Excellence in Pharmacy given by Society for Rural Development and Empowerment, New Delhi, Young Research Pharmacist Award, Young Pharmacy Teacher Award given for his active contribution in the field of pharmaceutical education, Young Performer Award given for the outstanding work in the field of pharmaceutical science, Distinguished Alumni Award by Acharya Alumni Association of Pharmacy, Bangalore. Dr. Nagaich is also a fellow member of SPER, Society of Pharmaceutical Education and Research, and life member of IPA, APTI, and IPGA. Sir, we welcome you to the webinar. And now I would like to greet the audience and I would like you to start your presentation, sir. Over to you, sir.
Thank you. So, at the outset, I would like to take the opportunity to wish you a very happy Independence Day. It's a 74th Independence Day that we are celebrating today. I must congratulate the organizers for inviting me to deliver this webinar. I personally thankful to Mr. Ashish for his continuous follow-ups to make it this event happening. To be frankly speaking, because of busy schedule and everything, I was not able to make it. But just because of his efforts, I thought of, okay, why not? I'll be able to get a chance to interact with the audience for this wonderful topic, dynamics of healthcare industry. So, without wasting further time, I just wanted to initiate my research discussion as well. So I'm sure you are able to see the screen. Is it visible?
Yeah, 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 sir.
Yeah,
It's visible, sir.
sure,
You can go on, sir.
sure. So the topic that today I have chosen, dynamics of the healthcare industry, because it's all about the pharmaceutical healthcare industry that is going on from past 6 months. Each one of us is quite aware about the pandemic situation that happened across the globe. We all are impacted in one or the other way. We have to work from home, we have to study from home. All the classes in the different universities globally, they are taking through the virtual means or the online forum. Now the conferences and events are also able to conduct over the virtual meet. So that way the healthcare industry and related aspects of pharmaceutical industry is of utmost importance. So thought of at par with the current happenings, I decided to give a brief about the recent dynamics that has been taking here in the healthcare industry. So, before discussing anything, I just wanted to share my thought processes that whatever the endeavors we are going to take, whatever the thought processes we do have with us, we need to be the best version every day. So, if we have done something yesterday, we should plan. We should decide that tomorrow I'm going to do better from yesterday, and on next day you should plan for some more better sort of thing. So that way, this is not for just for me, for you, or for some others. It's for all of us that we should excel in our field. We should do our level best to achieve the thought processes, vision and mission, though what we have accomplished, what we have thought of getting in our career as well. So I always suggest and start with the slides that you should be the best version of you every day, so that you should excel in your field of concern. Now we quickly move to the healthcare industry. So if we talk about the India or Indian perspective, we are amongst the fourth largest employer in the world, and we are marching towards the top two rank, top three rank in the pharmaceutical healthcare markets globally, in terms of the incremental growth that we have planned, we have going to achieve. And if we talk about the financial past financial years, we have been stood the fourth employer position globally, and we are marching towards the second. There are more than 1 lakh jobs are expected to be created from one of the government of India initiative, Ayushman Bharat. So this is one of the national health protection scheme as well that has been launched by government of India. So by virtue of launching of this national health protection scheme, we will be able to offer more than 1 lakh job in the concerned field in the pharmaceutical healthcare only. And if you talk about the growth aspects, or the I can say we have witnessed a very impressive growth perspective. So recently, if you talk about the tenure during 2016 to 22, it is reached to 372 billion USD in 2022. And then what we have achieved in 2016, it's 110 billion US dollar. So it has seen a substantial growth in the pharmaceutical healthcare vertical as well. There could be different aspects, those are important as some of the basic fundamental aspects, and some of the aspects or the advantages that would be required, that would be giving an advantage about the cost perspective as well. So if we talk about the manufacturing processes in India, definitely that product would be competitively having a low cost as compared to any US or European countries as well. So that has also benefited the Indian market. And recently, if you aware about the recent happenings, that our honorable Prime Minister of India, he also given Make in India. So pharmaceutical manufacturing that we are outsourcing, or we are taking as a third party from different countries, now we are inclined to get the things done, get the manufacturing done of the pharmaceutical API in India itself. So ultimately, we are going to boost our economy. We are going to add on the advantage and weightage of pharmaceutical healthcare perspective of India globally as well. And if I talk about some of the investment environment, or in other words, we can say we do have a favorable investment environment. So these are the government policies in might be that could be encouraging the FDI, then tax benefits, some of the policies that has governed our favoritism, or offer our favorite conditions for the manufacturer and pharmaceutical producers as well, so that they are able to grow, they are able to get a chance to flourish in their own country, and they'll be able to prepare and procure in India itself all the pharmaceutical product that we are taking initially from the different countries. And if I talk about, because see, the discussion I always plan that has to be very realistic, it should not be hypothetical or something like that, and that bears with the great scientific and the data relevance. So I'll be sharing some of the recent updated data that is ultimately we can consider as the policy support and the government initiative that has been taken care for this 2020. So if you see in the screen as well, the government has announced rupees 69,000 crore, that is outlay for the health sector, that is inclusive of 6,000 400 crore for Pradhan Madri Jan Aushadhi Yojana in the union budget for the 2021. If we talk about the other aspects, so the government of India aims to increase the healthcare spending to 3% of the gross domestic product GDP by 2022. So these figures has motivated me a lot as an individual, as a healthcare professional, as a pharmaceutical professional. They have motivated a lot that government is planning to spend around 3% of the GDP by 2020. And if you talk about the union budget that has been passed recently for 2021, so 35,600 crore has been allocated for the nutrition related programs as well, because this is the need of the hour as well. So we have to focus, and government very well taken this initiative, and they have allocated more than 35,000 crore rupees for the nutritional related programs as well. If you talk about the union cabinet, so they must have approved setting up the National Nutrition Mission (NNM). This is long awaited mission, I can say, that would be required for Indian fraternity. So with a 3-year budget that is somewhere around 9,046 crore to monitor, to supervise, to fix the target, and to guide the nutrition related interventions across the ministries. So this would be a benchmark decision of Government of India, continuing with the efforts for the pharmaceutical or healthcare verticals as well. So these figures ultimately showcase the importance, the inclination of Government of India, the ministry. They have understand, they witness the importance of enhancing, improving the pharmaceutical healthcare domain in India, and these steps are aligned with the same Make in India processes that has been governed and managed by Honorable Prime Minister of India. And if you talk about the September 23rd, 2018, when the government of India has launched the Pradhan Madri Jan Arogya Yojana, it is basically to provide the health insurance worth up to 5 lakh to over 100 million families every year. Because as a healthcare vertical, we should not confine ourselves in the manufacturing production of the pharmaceutical products or the dosage form or the medicines. We have to understand the approachability, the affordability by the end user, the patient, because there are many people, those are even not able to get the treatment, they are not able to get the medicine when required. So this PMJAY Yojana is ultimately help them, protect them with their health insurance, health rights as well, so that they are able to benefit it out of it if they are in need of any healthcare policies, healthcare insurance that they are not able to afford. So by virtue of this policy, this yojana, they are able to get some sustainable treatment for the different diseases. And in August 2018, the Government of India has approved the Ayushman Bharat National Health Protection Mission as a centrally sponsored scheme that has been contributed for central as the state government, and they have done a bifurcation as well, that the 60% would be given by the central government, the Government of India, and 40% for all the states. So that ultimately reflected the thought processes of our government, and I feel proud to understand that these kind of processes, policies has been implemented in India, where we are able to survive, we are able to sustain for the people, those who are not able to afford the same. So that will ultimately play a vital role as well. And now talking about the healthcare verticals, pharmaceutical or healthcare domain, I, in a nutshell, as a bottom line, it's a growing sector, and growing sector is always likely to grow. And if we talk about the growing sector or the healthcare or the pharmaceutical sector, it will never cease to not exist. Can you imagine anybody that anybody can survive without medicines nowadays? So this pharmaceutical or healthcare domain is not going, that it will not exist. It will exist in the times to come. It will exist in the near future. And it will exist every time. And yes, it has gained a lot benefit from a rising income level and greater access to the insurance as well. If you consider a short example, that how many of you are aware that in the past 20 years, 25 years, or 30 years, is there any provision or that much of awareness about the insurance or the health insurance? I'm very sure you must say no. because these kind of policies, these kind of processes were not there. So nobody is that much aware or interested to get enrolled for the insurance or health insurance as well. But now it has mandated for government and private companies. They need to enroll their employees, their part and parcel for the insurance benefits as well. And as an individually also, we are getting initiated, we are taking an interest for getting the insurance for protecting our healthcare processes or requirement as well. Now moving ahead, because I am aware that majority of the audience are the youngsters, those are into their graduation or undergraduation or post graduation. So initial few slides I have prepared to give you a brief insight about pharmaceutical or healthcare verticals, what is their strength, how government of India has done or taken some of the initiative for the advancement, for the growth, for the sustainable maintenance of these verticals. And if you see, we are under lockdown from past many months now, but if you see, pharmaceutical healthcare services has been considered as the essential services. Everything has shut down, but no pharmacy has shut down. No hospital pharmacy has shut down. The reason being, because we can shut down malls, we can shut down PVRs, cinema, mall, market, any other social engagement, social activities as well. But at the same time, we the people are aware that pharmaceutical or healthcare vertical cannot be stopped. This is utmost care has to be taken, and this is foremost important thing for our life as well. So that way, in the COVID outbreak, impact of COVID as well, everything has been shut down. All the global advancement, all the activities have been shut down. But pharmacies, the hospitals, they are working, and that every government has mandated and considered them as the essential services. So we have to feel proud that we are into that profession which is so novel enough, so that we will be able to cater the patients, we will be able to help them, we will be able to support them. Then marching ahead, like if you talk about your career perspective, maybe after completion of your uh, graduation, what you are going to do, you wanted to start your own venture or as entrepreneur, or you wanted to go for the higher studies. You can plan for some job perspective as well. So I tried to give some of the basic information about your job perspective also. And if we talk about the healthcare industry, it could be having different verticals, but majorly if we talk about, it could be having healthcare, they have a implication over the hospitals, the pharmaceuticals, the diagnostic, the medical equipment, and different other diagnostic suppliers, medical insurance, and telemedicine. So these are, and if you talk about the government perspective, the hospital perspective, that could be the government, private, or trust as well. Pharmaceutical, there could be different type of pharmaceutical companies are working. So these are the five segments where we'll be able to see the growth in the career as well. And they have contributed for the growth of the country as well. They have contributed for the nation building. And as a youngsters, you do have your own responsibilities on your shoulder that you have to contribute. You have to contribute for the nation building as well. It should not be just like that. You have studied, you started your job, you have a goal. You should have goals that yes, I have to do something or the other thing that would ultimately contribute for the nation building. And you should take the task. Nobody is going to push you that you have to do. This is by your own conscience it should come, so that at least you will be able to play a vital role, a impactful role for the nation building from your side, from your own contributions. Now, if we talk about the Indian pharmaceutical industry, we do have a cost efficiency. So, in case of pharmaceutical and healthcare verticals, if we talk about, so we do have a low cost of production and increasing the expenditure for the research and development. So, it will ultimately help in competitive environment for the export as well, and it has reached up to 17.15 billion US dollar in financial year 19. We have economic drivers as well. So if we talk about the economic drivers, they could be the high economic growth along with the increasing penetration of health insurance to push the expenditure on healthcare medicine in India. Otherwise, if you consider in the past years, uh, people are not much aware about the same. They don't want to invest into the health insurance. Now it's a routine for all of us, and I am very sure we all do have a health insurance with us, and that is the need of the hour as well. So that ultimately helped the pharmaceutical healthcare economy to grow, to drive, and these are the advantages of India. Then talking about the policy support, because everything would be possible once we do have all the factors aligned at places. So government of India has constituted the Pharma Vision 2020 that basically aims to make India a global leader in end-to-end drug manufacturing. And due to COVID outbreak, it has also impacted globally, and now India or Indian pharmaceutical companies, they are more inclined towards manufacturing of the drug manufacturing in India itself. So ultimately they'll be able to maintain the highest level of quality, ethical considerations, and at the same time they are ultimately growing Indian economy as well. And then if we talk about the investment perspective, so yes, there is a huge investment that has been increased. So increasing the private sector investment in R&D and D and acquisition are the driving sectors that are faced a growth. And many companies, like if you talk about the financial year 18-19 as well, the pharma companies, they have invested around 8.8% of their revenue for the same. So that has shown a path that yes, we are taking the advantages of the policies, the drivers that would be required for the growth of any healthcare or pharmaceutical segment, and we are growing. Now, if we talk about job perspective, this could be the sales, the marketing, the supply chain, human resource, finance, or any other aspects. So for this, I always suggest to the student, to the audience, that you should think, you should plan in your manner what exactly you wanted to do, because otherwise it would be very difficult to sustain into this tough environment. So that way it will not be feasible for us if you are planning any of the vertical that is not relevant enough, or else if we talk about you don't have an inclination for the same. So first of all, you have to understand your own pros and cons, your own strength, what you wanted to do. You have to have your thought processes and vision and mission as well, that what you want to do in your career. Once you are all set, that yes, I wanted to flourish in such and such segment, such and such vertical or so, then you have to plan. And in a very brief, if I talk about, you should explore all the ideas. So very rightly said that you need to be a jack of all, so that if anytime, anywhere, anything, any help has to be required from your side, you will be able to devote your inputs, your scientific inputs as well, so that the team associated with you, or the company where you have been associated, they should get an advantages of your own inputs, your own knowledge as well. And consider these facts, I can assure you, if you are motivated enough, if you are self motivated, you have a zeal to work in your career to achieve your vision, you can be the at the highest level of any company in any area. So there is no confine that if you work in that industry or that specialization, you will be able to achieve success. Success will depend on what you have planned, how you have given a shape to your career. So that way it would be more realistic to decide your own goals, what you want to do. And once you are decided, definitely you have to take a path for the same. And for getting the specialization, you have to choose of the area that is more inclined to you, and I can say that would be more realistic to you. So, and you should have a passion for the same. If you love with your work, definitely you'll be able to achieve everything what you wanted to do. You should stick with the basics, because we cannot bypass basics in any way. So if you wanted to do something in your career, you need to understand the basics first. It should not be just fancy things that you aware, but you don't know anything about your basics. So every time you have to make sure that you will be able to aware, you will be able to stick with the basics as well. And every time whenever I'm going anywhere for the scientific talk, for the keynote address or anything, I always try to tell students, the audience, that you should always have a feeling of learning. You should learn, and every time you should learn. And whatever you are achieving, the knowledge, the things or the processes, you will be able to execute. So if you are learning something, you have to execute as well, because without execution no learning is of any importance. So if you are learning something, then definitely you have to execute, you have to plan, so that you will be able to get the maximum outcome out of your learning as well. So these are some of the points that maybe you can consider, that you should always stay humble, you should enjoy your journey, learning should never stop. You should put the practice what you learn. So chase your dream, not exactly the money. Because I always busy in saying that if you are able to chase your dream, definitely the money will follow you. So you should not chase the money, because otherwise if you have started chasing money, then definitely you'll not able to fulfill your desire, your dreams, and that success would be incomplete. So once you wanted to be a successful person, definitely you have to achieve your goals, you have to achieve your dreams, and money will automatically follow you. And these are not the things that I have copied and pasted from something else. These are the things that I wanted to understand, I planned, I live in that manner. I learned these points from my own experiences, and I wanted to share this thing with the youngsters as well. And you should have fun, you should feel happy in whatever you are doing, so that you always feel positive, you always feel optimistic. So that way you should enjoy your life, your journey as well. Now there is a new perspective than the routine job perspective. It could be the market research or market intelligence as well. So I just give you a brief insight about what exactly it is. So these are some of the ways by which pharma companies are using the data as well. So if you understand the importance of data, so the role of data in the pharmaceutical industry is growing bigger, and it is more important at times go on. Reason being, because we have to understand the reality, real check, and that we are going to get or fetch from the data only. So if we talk about the clinical perspective, these data will help to accelerate the drug discovery and the development. They will optimize and improve the efficacy of the clinical trials as well. If you see recently $1 billion question is coming, that when we are going to get the vaccination for COVID. So every company across the globe, if you talk about the Russia, the president has mentioned that they have initiated the clinical trials, and Mr. Putin's daughter, they have taken for the clinical trial at the first instance. So these clinical trials are required, then only we are able to consider that product as safe and efficacious. So we need to understand the importance of clinical trials and associated data with the same. Then we have to target the specific patient population more efficiently, and we will be able to improve the safety and the risk management. So these are some of the clinical aspects. If I talk about the commercial one, so it will ultimately help us and give the better insight into the patient behavior to basically improve the drug delivery and effectiveness. We'll be able to gain the improved insight into marketing and sales performance, and we will be able to optimize the investment as well. Because it's all about, in the commercial, if we talk, we'll talk, then it would be all about revenue generation. What we are doing, how we are doing, and what we are getting out of it. So every time if we are working in corporate, we need to understand what we are doing, how we are going to achieve the task, and what will be the outcome. At the day one, we have to plan for the possible outcome as well. It would not be a case that we are planning but we don't know anything about what is going on. So that will not happen in the corporate. If we are working, then we should aware about the pros and cons and about the possible outcomes as well in the concerned field of the product. So if we talk about the importance of the data, right, the data drive the decision making as well. There are various point or the pointers that would be of great importance. It could be like which therapy areas worth investing. We have to understand. We have to give a critical thought. like which particular therapeutic or therapy area we wish to invest, so that we'll be able to get the maximum revenue, maximum outcome. How much commercial potential does this asset or the molecule have? So we have to understand the importance application of that particular molecule. And if you talk about what market leverage will I get when this product is launched into the market, so we need to understand the market. We need to understand the need of the market as well, and we have to understand the gap, what exists in the market, what has to be done, and where is the gap, where other companies are working, but what kind of result they are going to achieve, what result they have anticipated. So that way we will be able to understand with the use of the data. Then what does this product achieve its ROI? Whether it is a competitive competitors are doing. So whatever we are doing, that is one aspect. But in the market, we have to be very vigilant enough to understand about our competitors as well, what they are doing, how they are doing, what are the strategies they are maintaining, what tactics they have done. So all these will ultimately involve in the sales and marketing advantages and figures as well. And do the clinician and patient think about this product, because we have to understand the perception studies. We have to understand the perception from the clinicians as well, because ultimately in India, if we talk about clinicians, the doctors, they are going to write the prescription. So if they are going to write the prescription, then we have to target as a pharma company. If I am from pharma company, I'm leading the sales and marketing or the strategy department. So my motive is to understand the perception of the doctors, what they are planning, what they are thinking of that particular drug molecule or a particular brand. What is the reputation of that brand in front of the physician community as well. If they understand it's safe, efficacious, affordable, so definitely they are going to write, they are going to prescribe, and the moment they are going to prescribe, definitely the sales will be increased. So everything is aligned, it's all interlinked. So we have to understand the whole cycle, then only we are going to flourish, going to achieve the vision of a pharma company in the sales and market division as well. How the regulatory aspects are considered, because any product cannot be put into the market until unless it will not clear the regulatory aspects, regulatory understanding as well. So we need to identify the regulatory bodies, and if we talk about in India, at CDCSU, the DCGI is giving the approval for different clinical trials, then approval, sales and marketing, licensing, and everything. So we have to understand the current dynamics of the market as well. By virtue of that, we will be able to understand how market is doing, what are the dynamics, and how we will be able to fit our product into that dynamics, how we are going to boost the sales of the particular product. So we need to understand the competitors strategies, their processes, and then at the same time we need to do or develop our own strategies for promoting the product. So what should be the optimum price for this product? Because in India, if we talk about, still we are a growing uh, industry, and then a growing country as well. Affordability and the costing is of utmost importance. So we have to take care for the optimum prices of the product as well. And we need to understand the strategies, that how we are going to encourage more customers or the consumers with us. So this processes will ultimately help the company to grow and penetrate into the market. So these are some of the data analytics or the tools that we have performed for Python integration, analytics, Excel, SPSS. So these are required for data integration or data collection and analysis as well. So these are some of the aspects that I wanted to share. Now, if we talk about market dynamics, so definitely the market research would be of utmost fancy career. We'll be able to see as primary research analyst or the secondary research analyst or business analyst, where we are going to study about the perception of the doctors, perception studies about the key stakeholders or the key opinion leaders in the therapeutic field as well, where we are going to interact. We have to understand the usage pattern as well. So by virtue of that, we will be able to deliver some of the scientific result oriented data to the companies. Either they could be pharma, healthcare, they could be FMCG, they could be in ICT, semiconductor, chemical, nutritional, or dental or any other field. So ultimately, data should be required, and the authenticity of the data we have to understand. So by virtue of that, we will be able to get the maximum outcome from the investment that we are going to put into the market, and that will ultimately help us as a company to strengthen our strategies. If we are able to get and fetch the data, by use of that data we are going to plan our strategies, and those strategies will ultimately help us in building the future plans for the growth and development of that particular product as well. So these could be a nice career for the youngsters as well after completion of UG, or doctorate, to enter into the market research, market intelligence, or competitive intelligence, to gain a knowledge, to gain an understanding, and to see a nice, growing, flourish career. So, by these words, I would like to once again thank organizer for inviting me, giving me an opportunity to interact with you people. And now I am open for the discussion from the audience. Any sort of question, concern, or anything if they wanted to share. If you have any query, I'll be more than happy to answer. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, sir. And in fact, it was indeed a great presentation, sir. And I think as the first time in the webinar that after a lot of like our presentation, we yet haven't received. I think we just received the question right away. We still didn't receive it. The presentation has to be that good that people don't throw away questions. So the only question that I've received is how to solve major problems of health services in India, where rural population is being neglected and social inequality is being practiced.
See, considering this aspect, as I have mentioned, the Pradhan Madri Yojana and the national mission, they have constituted, they have formed by government of India with the intention to get an outreach to the people those are not able to afford the costly medicines. This ultimately help them in their crucial time, so that if they are in need of any treatment, any corrective action has to be taken care. So at least by virtue of enrolling in these missions, these policies of government of India, they are able to get the financial support in terms of the treatment, in terms of the hospitalization as well. And this ultimately help all the aspect. It's not just metro, semi metro, or the tier 1 cities we are talking about. We are talking about the small cities, tier 3 cities, the villages where people are not able to get the particular treatment as well. So with these, and that is what I feel proud in sharing. And initially I have shared these processes because people, they are aware, but as a healthcare professional we are more close to these policies, that what exactly government is doing. And this is the first time we have seen that these kind of policies has been governed by government of India, to get a maximum outreach to the villages as well, to the areas where people, they don't find the good resources for their treatment as well. Ministry, health ministry, then government of India, they have instituted some of the factors where they are able to get the hospitals in the rural areas as well, including the urban as well, so that they'll be able to get the financial health support by in terms of health insurance as well. And that is what the economy has boosted like anything, because initially no health insurance was there, and by virtue of now some nominal rupees of 200 rupees, you are able to get a insurance up to 5 lakh. So nobody has given a thought, nobody was even understanding that this, how it would be impactful. But we have seen the recent result that has been published from health ministry, then government of India as well, that how it has impacted, and it has impacted in a very progressive manner. And see, somebody has to take the initiative. Government of India has started taking the initiative, so it will take time, yes. There are strategies, the policies that has been built up by government of India, but at the same time we have to understand the execution. The slides I have mentioned, if we are learning anything, we have to understand how we are going to execute. So it's not just about learning, it's also about the execution of the planning as well. If government of India has done a lot, then other office bearers, other officers, they have a responsibility to execute those policies across the country, so that everybody, those are requiring those services, those are willing to get those kind of services, at least they'll be able to get the solution out of it. So execution has to be there, and it would be a time consuming process. And I can tell you, because it's we are having 130 crore population, so it's not easy to reach and outreach each villages, each remote areas. But yes, government of India is very promising, and whatever the things I have shared on the basis of my assumptions, on the basis of the literature that is available in the free or the subscribed sources from the government of India website, from state health policies, state health websites as well, so that I am very sure that yes, we are on a right path as a nation building, as a government of India efforts. I am very sure that in a couple of years we will be able to get the solution for all the diseases, all the problem in a different verticals, remote locations as well.
So the next question we have received is, as we know that India is the top manufacturer of vaccines by volume, do we think that enough number of new drugs are development taking place here?
Yes, see, development of a new drug, or I can tell in a manner that new molecule, it's a long process. It could have taken years, it could have taken 10 years, 15 years for the development of a molecule. And vaccination is something that, yes, ministry is doing in collaboration with the research institutes like DRDO, CSIR, and other institutes as well, where the scientists are working closely with the government, so that we will be able to develop vaccine. And it's, I tell you, we have a mindset, that is why we are just focusing on corona. There are a lot many other diseases are existing in the concerned field: diabetes, cancer, AIDS. So there are lot many diseases are there in the community, in the society. We cannot close our eyes just because of COVID. COVID is something that it came, it has to go. But there are certain diseases, those are still persisting. If you see the comparison of the mortalities or the affected people, COVID is nowhere. There are many diseases in the past as well that has flourished, and we have to see the treatment for the same. Still we are not so concrete for the cancer therapy as well. We are trying, we are managing from the radiation, we are managing from the chemotherapy. Some of the medicines has been available, but still long way we have to go. So scientists cannot confine and focus themselves for just one disease. It's a pandemic situation, we can understand it has impacted like anything globally, but there are other diseases. So scientists, they are working in a pace so that they will be able to get solution for vaccination for COVID-19, along with different other pandemic diseases as well. So it's not just COVID, but yes, scientists, they are working in collaboration with different research labs, with the pharmaceutical companies, and with the support of government of India, so that we are able to get some of the vaccination for the treatment as well.
Sir, the next question we have received is, there are some pharmaceutical companies who prepare their own medicines, and
Mhm.
then there come some pharmaceutical companies who use the same medicines, who prepare the same medicines using a different brand name. So, is it safe to buy these medications with the same formula but different brand names?
See, there is nothing that, see, brand name is something that company is going to get the leverage. So any we have to understand the generic and brand name. Generic are the salt basically. So if you see any of the medicine, they could have the same ingredients and composition as well, but they are writing in a different brand. So that is what, if you see the price trend, a branded drug from any X company, I don't want to name any pharma company here, it's an open forum, so it doesn't looks good. But yes, if we talk about any of the top most pharma company, their costing is 100 rupees for a strip of 10 tablets, and a company that is not having much name and fame in the market, they are going to sell the same product, same quality at a 50% discount. So it's all about marketing, it's all about strategy, it's all about your name. So that way I mentioned, don't follow the money, you just follow your fame, you should follow your vision, and money will follow you. They have done a lot for their marketing strategies and everything, because see, if this a product is into the market, so I am very sure it must have crossed all the barriers or all the hurdles is like they do have all the approvals where they have manufactured. It should be WHO GMP certified manufacturing facilities. They have packed in a prescribed packaging material. They have used the storage condition that has been required laid down as per the ministry or DCGI office as well, the CDCSU. They have done the all the aspect that would be required for the prerequisite of the safety measures as well in terms of quality, efficacy, and everything. Once they have done, then only they are available into the market. So I don't feel anything that any company that is having not that much of legacy or the reputation, their product would not be good. So if they are not good, definitely their product could be seized by the regulators, the drug inspectors or regulatory officers in the state or the central as well, state drug control department or the CDCSCO department that is working closely with the state department for laying down the conditions in terms of safety, efficacy of the particular dosage form or the medicine, we can say. So generic drug, they are always cheap as compared to the branded drug, and efficacy would be almost similar or equivalent.
Thank you so much, sir. I think we've covered almost covered all the questions, and it was indeed a beautiful and a very informative session, because of which we obviously didn't receive much questions. So before ending this up, sir, I would like to tell everyone who has registered for this webinar, on the right hand side of chat box, everyone can see the steps of accessing the webinar certificates. So you can follow the steps and you can get the certificate for your webinar. And for all those people who have registered for this webinar, you people will be receiving an email from the dashboard, in which you will be having the links of downloading the certificate as well as the link for feedbacks. So you do not panic about how you are going to get the certificates and feedback link after the webinar. And before ending this up, a big thanks to everyone who has come here live, who has watched us during this webinar. A big thanks to Dr. Upendra Nagaich, sir, for a beautiful and informative presentation, for accepting our proposal for being a part of this webinar. Thank you so much, sir. Without you, this webinar wouldn't have been possible. And before we end this up, I would like to again thank you everyone who has been watching us live from the past 1 hour. We assured you, we promised you that we'll be coming with more interesting webinars in the near future as well. We are planning a lot more webinars in the near future, and we promise to be coming with interesting topics in the future as well. So till then, I would like to thank sir again, sir. Thank you so much, and I'd
Thank
like to
you.
thank the audience as well. Till the next time, stay safe and stay home, everyone, during this pandemic time. And it's a goodbye from Association of Pharmaceutical Research side. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Yeah.